Hey guys, so today I wanted to do something I mentioned in my last video, which if you did not watch that, I will have it linked up here. I did a Q&A of all the questions that you guys had submitted on Instagram stories. A lot of them were motherhood related, and I said I wanted to do like a separate Q&A specifically for that. So I thought I would do that today because just do them back to back in case you had any questions, and there were a ton on Instagram. So I'm just gonna go through today and answer you guys' most asked questions in regards to motherhood. You know, I became a mom in 2020, and I know that it's no secret to anybody that it has completely shifted my life in every single way. I think it's like impossible for it not to, just given the amount of time I spent doing literally anything else, and then now the amount of time I spend doing this. So it's just kind of natural that it would take up all of my capacity as a human being, and that it would change me in many ways. And I have a lot of things that I've learned. I've had a lot of growth as a person in the last, year and a half, and just it's changed everything fundamentally about my life. So I thought that I would just do a video talking to you guys about that, just get into the nitty-gritty and explain how I feel as a mom and see what you guys want to know. We're gonna do my makeup at the same time. I would have had my monitor set up here today, but as you can see in the upcoming clip, this is what happens when I plug my microphone and my HDMI cord into my camera at the same time. Enjoy this beautiful, not at all horrible clip.
So they were one little joke in and of themselves, and they were moved off of. Yeah, they got scooched. Well, we had a great fan pet from Maddie B.
Can't have an HDMI cord plugged in at the same time as a microphone? Hello? What in the whiskers hell? And I'm orange. What even the whiskers fuck is this going? Yeah, so, not great. We still have the phone as the monitor down here. It's not ideal, but it is what it literally is. Before we hop into the questions, this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. I've been working with them for about 4 years now. And if you don't know who they are, which I assume you do, they are a meal delivery service. They deliver meals directly to your door each week. They come in an insulated box, and in that box are the meals that you have chosen. Each bag that is in that box has all of the ingredients that you need to make that meal. There's a recipe card, and on the back of the recipe card are really easy steps. I feel like it's a really easy step to go from ingredients to finished meal. It doesn't take a long time at all. HelloFresh now has 30 dinner recipes to choose from every week, which is the most choices of any meal kit. HelloFresh also has a line of kid-friendly recipes that are picky eater proof, so it's good for families who are trying something new while school's out for the summer. They have vegetarian, pescatarian, fit and wholesome meals, and it makes it really easy to stick to your goals. And they are the first carbon neutral meal kit company with nearly all packaging being recyclable. This week we had these turkey stuffed poblano peppers, and oh man, they were so good. There was enough that I even had them for 2 meals, and I absolutely loved these. My son loved these. He was calling them taco, and he ate an unbelievable amount of this food. It was amazing. Like, this is probably one of the best he's eaten, was eating this meal, and I'm very happy about that. And the ingredients are so good. Okay, taste test time. Absolutely delish. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. If you guys are interested in checking out HelloFresh, you guys can go to HelloFresh.com and use code RawBeauty16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. And I thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring the beginning portion of this video. And we are gonna hop into your questions. It is the next day. It is 6:30 a.m. I have my coffee, and I'm the only one awake. This is the perfect setup for a motherhood Q&A. It is. I'll tell you why. Because this is the perfect explanation of how difficult it is to get time alone. I had to nurse him to sleep. Like, he woke up when I tried getting up. I had to nurse him to sleep a little bit, and then I had to let him fully fall asleep. Just turn him the right way. Slowly creep out. Climb over my husband. Come downstairs. Make a cup of coffee. We don't have any cream, so I can't even enjoy the cup of coffee to its full potential. I just had to, it's fine. It has caffeine. And then instead of using this time to like do something for myself or like self-care or like to enjoy the chirping birds in the morning as the sun rises on the first day where there's not a complete sky of overcast, I'm filming a YouTube video. And yeah, my hair is up. I'm looking real good. And I'm going to, though, by the end of this, I'm gonna do something to make myself feel good. Let's just hop into the questions. What surprised you the most about becoming a mom? It's too early. I don't know why I decided to do this at 6 a.m. So it surprised me in very many ways. what you see of motherhood is like, it's like the highlights. It's like everything, you know? I put it like this in the beginning of my motherhood journey. When I was in the throes of sleep deprivation, like I literally was running on like the last fume. I couldn't even believe how tired I was. Tired was not even a word that began to describe what I was experiencing. Like, tired is such a minimal word for the feeling that comes after having a child. It's like an exhaustion beyond itself. When you watch TikTok, don't let TikTok or Reels or any of those things convince you that that's what it looks like all the time. Because I kind of did. That's what people show. So I was like, this is what it's like. And I would ask parents. I remember I asked a question on Twitter before I had him. And I was like, when people say parenting is hard, what do you mean? What does it mean hard? Because I was trying to think of like, what is it about it that you guys are saying is hard? I'm not saying that I disagree with you or don't believe you. I'm just saying like, what is it? Almost everyone had the exact same answer, that it never stops. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the rest of your life. And I was like, okay, so it's just that it's forever. And then I had him. And that is the truest answer I've ever heard in my entire life. It's not that it is actually physically hard. You're taking care of a little baby. You're changing diapers. You're feeding. It's not that. That stuff is cake. It's the mental and emotional side of it that I did not foresee being this intense. It's not that motherhood is physically hard. Hard isn't the right word. It's beyond draining. Because you've never, and at least I'm speaking for myself, I've never done anything this time consuming, mental capacity consuming. Everything I did, like I kind of had some sort of reprieve. There really isn't that much reprieve from taking care of another human that is fully reliant on you. And so that is the part that really threw me for the loop the most, is just like, you see all of these experiences and like moments and like laughter and joy and even tantrums and stuff that people show online, and you're like, okay, but you shut that video off when that video ends. There is no shutting it off when it's your life. And that part threw me for a loop. I knew obviously that you can't shut off life, but I guess I thought there would be like some sort of break. But even if he's sleeping, even if there is a break, I don't get a break. That's what threw me for the biggest loop. My mind is constantly aware of him, constantly aware of how little time I have, when he's gonna wake up, what he's gonna eat next, when's the last time I changed his diaper. It's just every single thing. Was that rash that he has on his chest? And I don't know, maybe that came from this. Maybe it was just a bug bite, but I don't know. Is it spreading? If I push a glass to it, doesn't that? The mental load of motherhood it's unfathomable. Like, I just can't even believe how that is what I couldn't have foreseen. I couldn't have prepared myself for the reality of what my brain would be doing all day long every day. Okay, this foundation looks like absolute garbage on me. I just put way too much on. I was just talking and not even paying attention, and I just like absolutely slathered my face in it because I'm feeling very frumpy right now, and I felt like I just needed a fresh coat of skin, and like I picked it, this is it, and now it's like, I'm not gonna let you cover me, you fucking bitch. And I'm like, please! Push the foundation into it and that'll heal it. I'm just gonna let that zit be what it is, and if I can cover it later, I will, and if I can't, well, fuck. I don't know, man, that's the part that gets me, is like, people can try to prepare you for what that might feel like. There is no preparation for sacrificing all of your time, mental capacity, energy, love, dedication, devotion, because there's really like nothing that I've ever done in my life that can compare to it. I've never put this much time, energy, and thought into anything. And if I did have something like this that was this stressful, I could have like taken a break from it. You know what I mean? Like if I was like working on a collab and it was just like, oh my God, this is way too much. Or if I was on a trip and I just needed to like go relax in my room. There is no stopping to go relax in your room. There is no time. Like, yes, you can take up a little bit of a break. It just hits different when it's a little bit of a break. I cannot just sit there now. I mentioned this in my previous video that for myself personally, my coping strategy before I had him was avoidance. And I've learned this through a lot of therapy. I would just simply avoid the things that were stressing me out, and I would just like zone out on my phone, or I would just, there were so many things that I did that I was able to kind of push my emotions back because I was able to take that time to get through it. And then when that time went away, I could no longer emotionally cope because I didn't have my coping strategy that my body had gotten used to doing for the last 30 something years. So then I have to find new ways. Now that's therapy twice a week. Now it's antidepressants. Like, I'm not saying that everybody has to do that. I'm just saying, like, I could avoid antidepressants for a long time because I had the space and time to be able to do what I needed to do to get through my anxious feelings and my depressed feelings. And then after he came, no, that's just not possible. Especially the first, like, if you are in it right now, if you are a new mom and you are in the first, like, I'm not gonna say just 6 months, I'm gonna say first year at least. May the odds be ever in your favor. You are in my thoughts and prayers. It's hard. It's fucking hard. And you know what? It's not hard for everybody. Some people are like, dude, this is fucking cake. And you know what? Some people are just amazing at it. Or they have a very easy baby, or they don't have mental illness. And to those people I say, hats off to you. Lucky. And I wish that that weren't the case for me. But you know what? At least I can be here to be helpful to maybe even just one other mom who's like, dude, this is fucking hard. And I'd be like, I know. And you know what? It's kind of taboo these days to say that it's hard because people think that that's you complaining about it. To those people I say, then it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not struggling, oh my God, amazing. Lots of other people are. And I talked about this in my other video too, is that we are in a society where, and if you are in America, or if this is your reality, I'm speaking to those people because this is the only reality that I know. But like, many of us do not have a village. We do not have people surrounding us trying to help us with our babies. And like I was saying in my prior video, like that is the way that we are as human beings supposed to be living. We are community-oriented species. We need other people to thrive. And even if you feel like introvert or you feel like you just want to be left alone, that's more of like a modern society thing. We still need people fundamentally like in our lives to be able to thrive, to not suffer. Even if it's like, I don't like being around people, that's not really what I'm talking about. Because I still really like being alone, but we still need community. It's not like a want versus I don't want type of a thing. It's like a need for our mental wellness. We need to have people helping. That's just part of human nature. And in modern society, we don't have that. We are very isolated. We are left to our own devices. We are in our homes with a baby or a toddler or however old your child is. And we are left to like do it by ourselves and then don't complain. And if you feel like you're having a hard time, well, here's a pamphlet at your 6-week appointment. Do you feel like harming yourself or your baby? Well, if you don't, you're probably gonna get over it. Baby blue, like they don't take care of people at all in this fucking country. Like it is so pathetic how mothers are screaming for help. And it's like, yeah, this can happen. And it's like, that's not very comforting, especially when it doesn't feel nice or normal. And you're just afraid that like something bad is gonna happen because you're honest. Or like I was super, super, super afraid to admit to my doctor that I was feeling depressed and anxious. And they diagnosed me with postpartum depression at 9 days postpartum. And I was in such denial. I was like, no, this is still within the baby blues period. I do not have that. And I went untreated and miserable and struggling so badly for 10 months before I had a mental health crisis where I literally could not avoid help anymore because I was so in denial about what I was experiencing because of how other people made me feel like I should feel. Some of us just fucking struggle more, especially since I wanted him so badly. I had struggled with infertility for years. We thought we were never going to get pregnant. I finally did. And then I struggled this badly for a baby that I've wanted my entire life. That was such a guilt-ridden feeling for me. I was like, why is this so hard? Because it is so hard. You've never stressed yourself to that capacity before. You just haven't. You haven't. And if you're struggling right now, it's because it's hard. It's so hard. Even if you have an easy baby, it's still hard to have no time for yourself when you're coming from a life of having only time for yourself. Like it's just something we've never done before. And it's something that we should all just give ourselves a little bit of grace and knowing that like it just is. And we don't need to feel guilty for saying that. Like if we had all the help in the world, this would be easier. If we had people cooking us meals and giving us breaks and holding our babies for us and helping put them to bed. Imagine just having all of those things that I just said, plus support and love and hugs and like community, people helping get your food, people helping do the sleep, people rocking and holding your baby, go have your time for yourself. That's what it's supposed to be like. It is. That is what we are supposed to have, and we don't. Many of us have to go on apps to find other parents. So we have to join groups so that we can talk to other parents online. Many of us just have the support that we have right here, myself included. I don't have any local friends, especially the ones that have kids, that I see often at all. I mean, I saw my friends last week and my kid played. Before that, it was like 8 weeks prior. That's crazy. And then we are like, why is this hard? Because it's not supposed to be like this. And I'm sorry that it is. I could just go on forever about this because I am just devastated that so many of us are experiencing this the way that it's not supposed to be. The pandemic made it a million times worse. So if you are a pandemic mom, yes, it just is this hard because we're not meant for it to be like this. It just sucks. And I'm sorry. And I'm here to validate for you that it is just that hard. Second question. How do I get my baby to sleep not attached to me? Help. SOS. You get your baby to sleep not attached to you in the way that works for you. Now hear me out. It is not easy like everybody says for many people. Sleep is like the biggest hurdle I think that most parents face and feel very alone in. And like that if we got sleep, it would be so much better. I would say if your baby is having a hard time falling asleep on their own without you, that is developmentally normal. It is normal. And what I had to do was stop trying to get my baby to sleep on his own because it was driving me fucking crazy because it was not happening. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? And sleep was my biggest thing. I was like, dude, I am a terrible mother. Why can everybody else do this? And then everyone was like, you need a sleep train. Hang on, I think my kid might be awake. It's nice to do this in a video about motherhood because I know that probably the most people watching this are either hoping to become parents or are, so like you get it and I don't have to feel bad about it. You're gonna get all kinds of sleep information. I need to do my brows real quick. These are just not happening. You're gonna get so much people telling you that you need a sleep train. This is how I did it. This is how it worked for me. Look, you can try all of that stuff if you want, and I encourage you to do what feels right to you as a parent. But don't be surprised if it doesn't work for your kid. Now, none of that information, not taking care of friggin' babies, especially not taking care of babies, I'll tell you that right now. That did not work for me. It effed up my supply because it's like a scheduled feeding. Here's how I feel about parenting, and everybody's different, and I'm not trying to come off on a soapbox with this. All of the rules of how you can do blah, 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 they're just very, very basic guidelines that did work for somebody, so they feel like they can tell you about that. None of that stuff worked for me. And then it made me think, what the hell's wrong with me? What's wrong with my baby? What am I doing? You're not doing anything wrong. Your kid's sleep and development are all on their own. And all of these things are like loose guidelines that you can try, and they may or may not work for you. You have to do what you feel comfortable with for your own family. So for me, I didn't feel comfortable sleep training. I do not judge anyone else that sleep train their kid. I don't simply care. I care very much about babies, and I care very much about their emotional needs being met and their needs being met as far as like sleep and stuff like that. And I think that we have way too big of expectations for baby sleep. I'll say that right now. Like I did. I expected my child to sleep through the night from like 6 weeks. And when he didn't, I was like, what the hell is wrong? Because other moms talk about their children doing it. Your child's sleep needs have nothing to do with what happens to this lady's kid over here or this lady's kid over here or this one over here. Nothing. It means nothing. Developmentally, it is normal for our babies to wake many, many times in the night. If you have a baby that sleeps all the way through the night, you have one of those miracle unicorn babies that, good for you, that's absolutely incredible. And I wish every baby would sleep through the night for every mother. Truly, truly. My kid is 18 and a half months old and he has never slept through the night. So if that makes you feel any better, awesome. If it doesn't and it makes you feel worse, I'd say it shouldn't. Developmentally appropriate for kids to wake in the night. It's what's normal, and we set these sleep standards for babies. We make the rules. We're the ones making the rules. Your baby should sleep through the night. Why? They're not supposed to. They signal for help from a caregiver because they need help going back to sleep. They're brand new. Like if you just think of it in the actual terms of it, like we expect to think a lot of times for kids to like, well, you should know better. How would they know better? They're literally one. Like they're one. We're 30 something and we still are struggling. Like that's how I look at it. Like sometimes I struggle to sleep and I'm an adult. Like I have absolute sleep needs that I need. I have to sleep with a heating pad on my face every night. Even if I don't have a cluster headache, I have to sleep with a heavy hot pack on my head. I have to take my supplements before bed. I sleep in a dark room with white noise on. Like I have things that I need to sleep, which are like considered sleep crutches or whatever. I'm sure you do too. Some people need an eye mask. Some people need earplugs. Some people need music playing. And then we expect our babies to sleep alone in a crib on their back. Why should they do that when we as adults don't do that? Like we crave human touch, and so do they. They don't know anything different. They want to be next to their mommies and daddies. And it is so frustrating as an adult who had all that time to yourself and you just need 5 fucking minutes to yourself and you can't get it. But I had to have grace for the fact that, like, of course he wants to touch me, and of course he wants me to be there because it's what makes him feel safe. And eventually one day he will sleep independently. Still to this day, it's a struggle. He wakes up many times in the night. That is just him. It's his personality. It's the way that he sleeps. And I had to stop comparing him to other children and myself to other mothers to be able to feel okay with that. So when I figure it out, I'll let you know, but I don't think I'm going to figure it out. There are other moms that just do it. Sleep training is a thing, and you have to decide if that's right for your family. It wasn't right for me. I didn't like it. I just felt uncomfortable with it. But if you feel comfortable with it, that's not me judging you. That's me saying you have to do what feels right for your family, because nobody else has to raise your baby. And if it's driving you crazy and if it's not working for you, then maybe try to figure it out. You gotta listen to what feels right for you, because that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if that lady's baby sleeps all the way through the night, because she doesn't have your kid. I have friends that are online whose babies sleep through the night from the day they were born, and they're like a year old. What? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for me. That, to me, I'm like, no baby sleeps through the night. Yeah, they do. But I also have friends whose babies wake, 7 times a night. And that's my kid. He, on a bad night, oh my God, he will wake up 4 to 7 times a night. And then people wonder why I'm tired. Why I look like this. Last night was a really good night. I, in fact, laid down with him to put him down to bed last night. Totally fell asleep at 8:30. I didn't even mean to. I was just exhausted yesterday. It was one of those days where you're just tired. I fell asleep at 8:30 and I slept till 6 a.m. this morning. And you know what? That was really nice, actually, because I'm a morning person. I'm really not a night person at all. I think the best thing that I did for my mental health was stop researching, stop trying to get your kid to do anything. Because you can do your best, but these kids, man, they got a mind of their own, weirdly. They are people. They're not just babies. That's what I had to come to terms with. Like, he's a human being with human being needs, and like, I'm trying to get him to do something that I don't even do. I don't sleep on my back alone in the crib. I don't do that. I sleep in my bed, on my side, snuggled up in the fetal position, with a corn bag on my head that's hot as the dickens, with loud white noise on in a super pitch black room, with my husband next to me, snuggling me. And I'm 34. I don't know. I just think we have really high, these brows are insane. I don't care. I think we have really high expectations for what kids should be able to do. And if we just lowered our expectations a little bit, then we would have so much less frustration, because it might be normal for some kids to sleep through the night. It might be not. And you know what? My kid doesn't. And so many others don't. So I need to put some lashes on this face. I'm going to use the Ardell Demi West piece. I just bought some new packs of these because I love these lashes so much, and I just feel like these are the kind of lashes for me these days, I'm not really that like giant lash wearer anymore. I can't do it. I used to be, and then something happened to me. I know what happened. Kid. I just feel weird in big lashes these days. I don't know what it is. But I guess my advice is, there is not gonna be any advice that works that you probably haven't tried already, because every kid is just so different that when I stopped trying to get him to sleep through the night, and I just accepted his sleep for what it was and did my absolute best to make the environment good for him, got on a good routine, did our sleep. I do a bedtime routine, and that is like turning the lights down an hour before bed. We have dinner before that, try to get him to eat as much as humanly possible, but understand that kids eat what they want to eat. We read books. We read like 3 books before bed. We have the light really dim in the room, like the Hatch light. We have the little Hatch sound machine. And then we turn the lights off and the sound machine up. We sing him the same song every single night. These are all like sleep cues. I am very regimented with this because it is really helpful for us to have like a very solid nighttime routine. So now when he hears these songs or hears the sound machine go on, he knows that it's bedtime. He looks forward to nighttime. He asks to take naps, which is amazing. He says like, bye-bye. He wants to go for a nap because we don't have like negative sleep associations yet. I don't know. I say yet because, toddlers. But we do all of that, and I set the room up for success as far as that, like pitch black, blackout everything. Doesn't matter what it took. I had to black out everything and have the sound machine up pretty loud on the TV static setting. Then I put him down and pray. And I nurse him to sleep and then I roll away. That's how I do it. That's how I started getting him to sleep like independently from me, is I would lay him down in the bed and then I would lay next to him. We have a floor bed, nurse him to sleep, roll away. And that's the most that he will sleep on his own because he thinks that I fell asleep next to him. And if he wakes, I just go back in, nurse him back down to sleep. And this is what worked for us. And he's still not sleeping through the night, but he sleeps way better. And I have like hours now in between him waking usually. And so that is it. That is our strategy and it works for us. And yeah, there you go. So I will move on to the second or third question. God, each of these questions is so long, but these are like the most vital parts of motherhood, I feel like. So this makes sense. How do you be sure to take your son outside? I'm on Lexapro, 17-month-old son, and I often stay in. He makes it to where we go outside. He is very like, he screams the word outside. Outside. And he doesn't like leave a gap in between like the word outside and the next word outside. He's like outside. He loves to go out, and it's a break for us as well from me having to like just fully entertain, you know? So we go out as often as we can. We have hideous weather in Washington right now. Like it's never been this bad for this long. Everybody here is absolutely losing their minds about it. Like it is mid-June and it is still raining outside every single day. Garbage weather. Literally terrible. And it makes it really difficult when you have a little kid because it's like you want to be outside and you want to do lots of things and you simply can't. It's so frustrating. Like everyone's literally losing it here. But you toss on a friggin' raincoat and you get the hell outside. That's what we're doing at least. Like it's misery, but it is life. And so today what we're going to do is we have a library in our town. We haven't actually been to it yet. It's kind of like a newer library. And we're going to go take him to the library because my son is literally obsessed with books. If nothing else, like if you did nothing else in the day but read books, he would be okay with that. He brings you a new book every 5 seconds. His favorite book in the entire world is Corduroy, which is so effing cute. It could make me throw up and die. It's so sweet. He literally loves Corduroy so much. He calls it Kaga. And that's all he talks about all day long. Like you could read Corduroy and we have 30, 40 times in a day. And that book is very long. So I know that book front to back. Also, my friend Marie got us a book that he absolutely loves called The Pout Pout Fish. Oh my God, he loves that one so much. So we're going to take him to the library today and go read books. And I think that he will have so much fun with them. How did I go about starting baby-led weaning? It is so confusing and I don't know where to begin. Haha, I've got a good one for this. So I had zero intention on baby-led weaning. I knew that I had too much anxiety to do it. And if you don't know what it is, basically instead of feeding your child purees or like blended up food or spoon feeding them yourself, you immediately start with finger foods for your child. Even when they're 6 months old, you hand them like appropriate sized food that they feed themselves. Now, I had such severe postpartum anxiety that feeding him baby-led weaning was like, it was very difficult for me because I was super, super, super afraid of him choking. But the way that I got past that is, first of all, I had to literally stand there and like bite my tongue the entire time because I was panicking like the whole time that he would be sitting there and like feeding himself a banana and like taking huge bites and he doesn't even have teeth yet. Like it was a struggle. However, I did a ton of research and I will just shout from the rooftops, Solid Starts. If you do not follow Solid Starts on Instagram, or they have a website as well, there is no words to express how wonderful and helpful Solid Starts is. They give you all of the information. They give you the stats. They give you the studies on how there isn't more of an increase in choking and things like that. They talk to you about age-appropriate sizing and softness and what to expect. There's so much to know as far as feeding your child goes, but Solid Starts really breaks it down for you. So if you don't know where to start there. That's highly recommend. And just take their little courses. They have courses that you can purchase, but they also have a ton of free information on their Instagram. And it's absolutely wonderful. Their website is amazing. You can type in any food that you guys are considering. So say you're like, how do I feed my 6-month-old baby safely? Carrots. And then you go there and they talk about like, is this a common allergen? Is this a choking hazard that's common? How to serve? And then it gives you like guidelines guidelines and shows you pictures and talks to you about the softness level. Like, it's literally a gold mine of information on solid starts. And my son did baby-led weaning. He eats amazing now. He eats everything. We all eat the same meals. Yeah, he's a toddler and he has certain preferences, and he'll be like, cheese, and then like he won't even eat what you give him. He's in this like phase right now. Like, I held off on cheese for as long as I could, but he had tried cheese one time. Like, we were out and about, and I think he tried like cheese on a pizza, or we had like a charcuterie board or something like that. It was all over from there. And I really wanted to hold off on it because I know cheese is one of those preferential foods where people are like, it's just something that they just love so much. So every time I open the fridge now, he just screams the word cheese. But like 90% of the time, he doesn't actually want cheese. He's just like saying the word, but you know. Anyway, I will say baby-led weaning is something that like I could make a whole separate video on, but I'm probably not going to because enough people have. I will just say it is wonderful. I would never do it any other way. And he eats amazing, fully self-feeding, fully like just eating every single food with us, has never choked, has gagged a million times, but that's very common. There's like lots of information on choking versus gagging. And there's just a lot of answered questions online. So if you have any of those questions, just visit the Solid Starts website or app. They're literally goldmine, and their Instagram. They do lives all the time. It's just amazing. I love baby-led weaning. I would recommend it for any children out there. It just was really great. And he is a completely self-feeding. He eats all kinds of different foods. We try to be very food neutral. So like broccoli is the same as this, is the same as that. Like, we don't go eat your veggies because I don't want him to think that like veggies equal like, why do you want me to eat those so bad? So we just try to be very neutral with everything that he eats. So like beans is the same as veggies, is the same as raisins and grapes, and it's all the same. We try. Like, do you want cheese or do you want the grapes? Like, you know, he'll come up with preference because he's a human being, but we try to be very food neutral if we can. So yeah, do you ever wish you could go back to your life before motherhood? Oh yeah, all the time. Would I? No. Do I dream about it? Yeah, totally. Life was simpler. It just simply was. I can sugarcoat it all I want, but it just was mentally a lot less of a hurdle that I had to work through. So I certainly daydream often about like, oh man, if we were doing this task before motherhood, oh my God, it'd be so much easier. But life is richer now in a different way. Like, I can only explain it in that before being a mom, I had all the time in the world, but I didn't utilize that time because I didn't have like a reason to almost. Like, I knew I could feel my lash coming up. I was like, it doesn't feel attached. That's because it's not. It was almost like he's given me reason to try harder and to be more the person that I wanted to be. And I'm not saying that you have to have kids to do that. Like, there are many people that are like motivated or self-driven, but there's something about like having less time that makes me utilize that time better. Like, I'm up at 6 a.m. filming a YouTube video. I would literally never. First of all, I would have gone to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I would have slept until 10. Like, there's just something totally different about like my life as a mom. I just naturally want to do more and try harder for him. He makes me be a better person. I'm getting projects done on a way faster scale because I want them done for him. I want him to experience life in the best way possible. Do I look back on my life and be like, oh, Kristi, you sweet summer child, you just didn't know? I look back and I'm like, dude, how nice would it be to just like go to dinner with just you, Zach? Like, just you and me, and we can go to dinner and we could sit there for like hours if we wanted to and just talk about whatever we wanted, and then come home and like watch a movie. Like, what would that be like? It's hard to even remember that life did exist like that at one time. As much as I miss that old life, I like my life better now because, man, he shook things up. And I just feel more purpose in life. And I'm not saying that like you have to have kids to feel purpose. My God, no, absolutely not. Especially if you're not ready or if you're like questioning it. Just wait. Like, you have all the time in the world and you can't go back from it. So you better want to do it really badly because there is no coming back from it. Like, it is what it is. Once you have a kid, like, that's it forever, for life. Not 18 years. People love to like put 18 years on it. But like, I was asking my dad the other day, I was like, do you still worry about us? He was like, constantly. Oh, so your brain's not even like getting a break from worry, even though I'm 34 and she's 37 or 6 or whatever? And he was like, no. And I was like, dude, that fucking sucks. He's like, yeah, I worry about you constantly. I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That sucks. I feel terrible. But it's just the way the cookie crumbles. So yes, I do look back and I go, oh, Kristi. But if you were to say, I could snap my fingers right now and you go back to your old life, I'd be like, no, you couldn't pry motherhood from my cold, dead fucking hands. But that doesn't mean I don't look back and go, oh, that looks so nice. because it was. It was. But this is nice too. It's just nice in different ways. And I prefer this life now. Do you feel like you lose true self once you have a baby? Well, yeah, you certainly don't lose yeah, you do. You do like lose yourself in a way. But it's not that you lose yourself, it's that you are transforming into somebody else. So yeah, the you that you once felt like you were, and like all the things that you felt like defined you as a person, like many of those things do change. And I think that it's just only natural for that to be the case. You cannot do something completely new every second of the day and expect to be the same old you that you once were. Like, how is that even possible? You're doing things you've never done. Like, it has to change you because it can't not. So yes, the person that I once was prior, oh, she's fully in there, but also I could not be more different. But I'm also exactly the same. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, I have grown. I'm so fundamentally different in many ways because I know somebody I didn't know before. I didn't put concealer on. Is that what's going on? Is that why I feel like so bare? I didn't put concealer on. Oh, whatever. It is what it is. Every relationship that you had changes you as a person. So like if you got in a new relationship with a partner, or if you met a new friend, like everything that you do and everyone you meet leaves a mark, right? That same goes for your child. So like the person you were before you met your partner is a different person than you are now. Same with somebody you spend 24 hours a day with, this little person that requires very much of you. Yeah, you're going to change, and you just change so much. It's not possible not to, because like I said, you change with every single new relationship that you have, whether that's like a new parent, you have a new step parent, or you have a new brother, or you have, a new best friend. Like everything you do leaves a mark. And that's what makes us who we are. And so, yeah, having a kid changes you fundamentally. Like it's just not possible for them not to. But I like who I am better now. I know more. I am way stronger of a person. I'm weaker in many ways. I'm way softer, and I have way more anxiety now. And I just think it's not possible for me not to. I have to accept who I am now. It's hard because I feel like I just had less worries before. You know why I feel that way? Because I literally did. I did have less worries. It's not that I just feel that way. I did. I had one worry that was way less than it is now. And that is I have a life that I sustain and that I love so much. It literally physically pains me on the everyday. I feel sick to my stomach with love. And protection and just like overwhelming sadness that each day he grows as he's getting further and further from needing me. And that sounds idyllic in the beginning. You're like, oh my God, just some independence. But then like you think about it and you're like, one day you won't even need me. And it's just, man, parenthood is a fucking trip. Okay, so how has my relationship changed with my husband? Oh my God, in every way. We are still madly in love and we tell each other every day, but I'm not even gonna lie, we totally like parenthood for both of us has brought us to levels of our relationship that we just never have been at before. We didn't really argue before because we had, like I said, the total capacity to take time and do self-care and spend a lot of time together. And that was like our priority before, like was just each other. And then we had a kid and we just don't have that time together anymore. And like by the end of the day, we're just so exhausted some days. And it's like impossible not to get kind of at each other's throats or like just feel like you're not connecting. It's frustrating, but we try to find ways to connect. I mean, we still love each other so much, but like our relationship has completely changed in many ways. So I'm just not gonna wear concealer today, I guess. I don't think I need it, right? Nah, I'm fine. I need more bronzer on my nose though, or freckles or something. I'll put some fake freckles on. Flick it. I'm gonna do some little faux. Our relationship is really strong though. Like we talk all the time about everything and we're very like still so much in love and we try to spend that time with each other. But like, just the capacity is lower. We have a lot more mental load that we have to deal with and a lot more things that we have to do. And we very rarely get that time right now to fully connect on the level that we wish we could. We just are aware that like right now is the hard season and the first like couple years are the hard season with kids. And then, we'll get to a point where we can connect again. And we do talk still a lot. We have lots of like really good deep conversations, but it's just right now we're aware that this is the hard time. And it will pass and we will get to a point again where we will be like our previous selves because we'll have a child that can like do those things with us. Like we haven't been to dinner together. Zach and I haven't since pre-pandemic. So it's been almost 3 years since we've gone to a restaurant together. And that was what we did all the time. Like that was our way of connecting. We really love going out to eat because it just is like such a way to like put your phone down and fully connect on just like a deeper level. And we haven't done that in 3 years. One day he'll be able to come with us to dinner and we'll be able to like experience things with him. And right now we could go to dinner. We could. But the idea of going to a restaurant with a toddler that like still throws food on the floor and like, you know, sometimes starts screaming like things when he's done, he'll be like, up, 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 because he wants to get up from his chair. I don't know that I want to do that, like go to a restaurant and deal with that right now. Maybe I could. We've done Chipotle, like we've gone into Chipotle, and that's enough for me to be like, we're not ready for a restaurant right now. Like just the amount of guacamole on the floor. Like if this was a carpet, I would feel really guilty. So this was a rug. I don't want to clean guacamole out from a rug right now. So we're just holding off and realizing that like one day we'll be able to do that, and we'll miss this time. I'm sure of it. But yeah, our relationship has definitely changed a lot. It's really good though still. It's just, it will be a transition. It will be a shift, and that is to be expected, but it does come back. It will. And it slowly is over time. I guess it mostly depends on where we're at in like his development and stuff like that too. Like when he's having really hard days, we're having really hard days, and we just try to have some grace with each other. And sometimes it's just like spending time apart that we need. Like we just need to like take a minute. But we both work from home. We have the absolute privilege of being here all day long with him and with each other. And so it's been a transition, but it's been good at the same time. I feel like this makeup's all right. Like it's getting there. I don't know. I feel like it's the same makeup I always do, but like, gotta go to a library today. Like, I don't want to look like super glam, you know? Just saying. When did you start to feel back to normal? I'm 6 months postpartum and still waiting. I still don't feel back to normal. My kid is like 18 and a half months old, because I don't think we ever can feel normal again because we have a new normal. But I'd say that I started to feel a little bit more myself, maybe like 15 months, I'd say. When he started walking and my anxiety started to go down a lot because I was getting treatment and stuff like that. Treatment really helped a lot for me to feel better with my anxiety. I've talked a lot about that. If you guys are interested in a more in-depth video about treatment with postpartum anxiety and depression, or I can even do a separate like video about that. I have one linked up here where I talk about my mental health crisis and talk about getting on medication, talking about the sleep, the insomnia, the severe mental health episode that I went through. So if you guys are interested in watching that, then I will have it linked up there. But yeah, it was insane. And I don't think I'll ever feel fully normal because this is my new normal. And that's really hard because it's really hard to transition into and like to just be okay with, but I have no choice but to. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. I'm due with my first and I'm worried I won't love or bond with them as I'm not maternal. Any advice? It's a transition. You're meeting this new person for the first time. I will say that I felt that same way. With my pregnancy, I didn't feel like that emotionally connected to my baby until I gave birth. Not everyone does immediately. I hear that can take time. I was really worried about that too. I was like, am I going to even like feel maternal? Because I'm not maternal at all. I am sort of in a way, but like I wasn't really a big fan of kids, if I'm honest. Like I like them. I love my niece, but I was very awkward around kids. I had a really hard time talking to them. Like ask anyone. I would be like, if a kid came up to me, I was kind of like grossed out by them. I just didn't have one. And when it's not your child, it is different. It is different. Do you think I would, before I had my son, I swore to God on my life, I would never eat off of a spoon or anything that like some kid put in their mouth. If they handed you like an icky pickle, like would you actually take a bite? Disgusting. I swore on my life I would never. Oh my God. I absolutely will kiss his little spaghetti face. Like it's just hits different when it's your kid. It just does because they are not gross to you. I don't know. Sometimes things are gross. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. I felt the same way. I was worried about that same thing, and you just have to experience it as it comes. You will bond with them more and more each day. If it doesn't come immediately, that is normal as well. You are just meeting them for the first time. Emotions and hormones can make things feel stronger too. Like in the beginning, I remember I kind of like winced away from breastfeeding because breasts are seen as like a sexual thing in America. I don't know, in the world, in a lot of places. It felt almost like kind of creepy to me in the beginning. I thought, is it going to be this way forever? It's just there's a transition. No, it doesn't feel that way at all anymore. In fact, they've taken a completely new role in that they don't feel sexual to me anymore. Just accepting the feelings that you're feeling for what they are and knowing that hormones and sleep deprivation and all of that can play a huge role, but that you will bond with your child. You will start to feel more maternal because you have no choice not to. And some people don't, feel as much as some other people, and that's okay. It's just one of those things where you just have to just accept the process for where it's at and you will get there. It is different than other people's kids. It just is. I was always like, is it? Like, am I going to think my kid is gross? No. I mean, at least for me, not at all. He could do no wrong. He's not gross at all. Like, he's the best. How would you respond if someone physically disciplined their child in your home in front of your child? That's a really hard question. I'm probably not the one to answer this question. I do not believe in physical punishment for children. Hands down, point blank, period. I do not believe in it. I have a really strong opinion on this, I think, because I think that a lot of times, and you may disagree with this, people may disagree with this, and you know what, that's fine, but I just think there is never an excuse to hit anybody, much less an innocent, tiny child. Why would that ever be okay? And I think that a lot of times people use the words like spanking, and they use words like popping them on the mouth. It is absolutely unnecessary and really inappropriate, in my opinion, to hit children. And if somebody did that in front of me, I would absolutely say something. I am not one to keep my mouth shut on something like that. In fact, I saw a dude like verbally abusing his children in Home Depot the other day, and it took everything in me to not just be like, you mother. A lot of people use the excuse, I was hit as a child, or I was spanked as a child, or I was whooped as a child, and I turned out okay. Well, did you? Because you think it's okay to hit children. Like, it's not okay to hit anybody, much less an innocent, tiny little child with no way to defend themselves, no way to... there's nothing. Like, why would that be okay? We don't need to hit to teach a lesson. Hitting doesn't teach lessons. It teaches fear. Fear is not something we want to instill in our children, is it? Because that is the only thing that comes from that. It doesn't make your child behave better. It makes them afraid of you. God, if I ever made my child afraid of me, I have not done my duty as a parent. And you may disagree, and you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong, though. It's okay. It's okay. And I understand why some people think it's okay. I don't understand, but I can hear their reasoning behind it and be like, I see why you think that that might be the case. But like, do you have fond memories of your parents whooping you as a kid? Like, do you look back at that and be like, no, it made me better? No, it maybe made you like afraid, so you stayed in line. But like, there's certainly deep-seated issues that come from being beat as a child and being hit and being whooped with a belt or a spoon or a fly swatter or whatever that thing is. I just disagree that it is in any way a beneficial way to teach children. It doesn't teach them. It teaches them to be afraid of you, and it teaches them that hitting is okay, and that is the way that you get what you want, is by whooping people. And I think that it is devastating. And if I saw somebody hit their child at my home, I would be like, whoa, yeah, no, we don't hit here. And that's not okay. Like, I would never, ever be okay with that. Plus, the people I surround myself with, first of all, wouldn't. I just naturally feel like the type of parents that I surround myself are more like that gentle parenting. It's not even like gentle parenting, because I feel like that has a negative connotation for many people. They're like, it's really too gentle, and it's too much. Like, they take it too far. I understand that. I kind of go on more of the respectful parenting, which is like treating them like a human being. They are a human being with thoughts and emotions and feelings, and you can explain everything. Like, everything can be fixed with words and compassion, because somebody telling you like, get your shit together, stop crying, you're okay, stop crying. Why are you crying? Would that be beneficial? No. For me, it's like, oh, you're upset. I know. It's frustrating when I take away the cactus, but we don't touch a cactus because it'll hurt us. We have to keep you safe. That's the reality of what's happening. So that's why I tell him that. Oh, you're mad because we have to buckle you into the car seat. It's okay. I know, it's frustrating. But we have to go to the store, and I have to make you safe. That's how I explain it. Am I the perfect parent? No. But that's actually what's happening. And I think that I use the example of when I am struggling mentally and I'm having a hard time, I like to be treated with like severe compassion. That's what I need. I need somebody to hug me and be like, you're feeling anxious. I'm sorry you're feeling so anxious. That's awful. But it's reasonable that you feel anxious because this is new and it's kind of scary. And if they validate that for me, I'm like, thank you. Like my therapist did in the beginning. Like, I was struggling and she's like, you are feeling anxious because you didn't sleep for 7 days. And now you have this fear associated with sleep. totally valid because you have a reason to feel fear. We're going to get you through that because you've been sleeping for 34 years and you went through one really bad week. This is not indicative of the way that you sleep forever, but we're going to get you through it. But right now it's hard, and that's okay that it's hard. That's how I speak to my son. And I think that a lot of us could do with speaking to children that way and not just jumping to on our first emotion. A lot of parenting and a lot of being a mother is regulating your own emotions, not trying to regulate theirs. It's seeing how you deal with the tantrum because a lot of times I want to lose my shit because it's like, it's so irrational why you're having a tantrum right now. Like, you asked for that snack. I gave you that snack and then you threw the snack on the floor and had a literal meltdown about it. I can't control the way that he does that, but I can control the way that I handle myself during his meltdown. And that is by taking a step back and being like, this isn't about me. He's one. He doesn't understand. He has big emotions about something. Maybe he's just hungry. Maybe he's tired. I lose my shit when I'm hungry and tired too. I am a hangry, grumpy lady. I just try to like humanize the toddler, humanize the baby. It's okay that they feel this way. It sucks. It's irritating. You're allowed. It's dysregulating me, but you're dysregulated too. And I can't really teach you anything right now when you're dysregulated because it's the same as when I'm having a panic attack. If somebody used to be like, calm down. Do I calm down? No. We try to do that same thing for a kid. Just put yourself in their shoes and be like, right now, it really doesn't matter why they're freaking out, but they are. So I need to like try to just and be like, it's okay. I know you're struggling. It's hard. And sometimes it doesn't stop the meltdown, but you're kind of okaying that it is hard sometimes. It's hard to be little and not be able to get what you want every second of the day. Sometimes we don't get what we want, you know? That's how I try to parent. That's how I try to be a mother because I try to teach and lead with the way that I would hope to be treated. And that's really all it comes down to. This is a long video right now, but I feel really good about this because I feel like this is what we need to do. Like, hey moms, we're kind of alone in this sometimes and we don't have to be. We can talk about it and it isn't taboo. We're all out here dealing with the same thing. And if we can just like remove the stigma around all of this and just openly have conversations without judging one another, that would be like the best case scenario. There is a lot of mom shaming out there because everybody wants to feel like the way that they're doing it is the right way. And you know what? We all feel that way. But also simultaneously, we all feel like we're doing it fucking wrong and that we suck at this. We don't. It's hard. There is no one way to do it. There is no one size fits all. It just is what it simply is. It's very hard and it's very time consuming and taxing and wonderful and terrible and amazing and the best thing that's ever happened to you and the worst thing that's ever happened to you. It is all of those things. And I remember hearing a mom talk about this when I was pregnant and she had a video. I can't remember her name. Jess Hover, I think is her name. And she has a video titled like why I don't like being a mom or something like that. And I was like, how dare you? And then I watched the video and she was like, I love my kids more than literal life. I love them so much. I would literally jump in front of a train for them. I would do anything for them, but I don't love the care tasks of being a mom. Like, I wish I could just do more for myself and had less to do for these people. And I remember thinking like, I wonder if I'm gonna feel that way. Yeah, there's some things about motherhood that I'm like, oh my, are you kidding? I have to make another meal that you're probably not gonna fucking eat. There are things that suck about it, but there are things that are wonderful about it. Many things. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. It's the most mixed bag of emotions and I love it and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And simultaneously it is so fucking hard and like, can I just get a goddamn break? But it just is those two things and it's okay to be more than one thing at a time. It can be the best thing that you ever did and also like, I have to do this again tomorrow and every day for the future. I hope you guys liked this video and that it was somewhat helpful for you to watch and that you guys can relate to it in any way. I really enjoyed doing it and I hope you guys like, if there's any videos you guys want to see in the future, if you want me to do another one of these, I am no like mother expert. I've only been doing this for a year and a half. There are people who have way more kids than me and have been doing it for way longer and may know way more than me. I learn more every day, but we're all in it together and doing our best. And I'd like to think that I'm pretty proud of the way I am as mom. I think I'm a good mom. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for submitting your questions. I really didn't get to that many, but I feel like I got to say a lot of what I wanted to say. And if you have any more specific questions, you guys can ask down below. Maybe I'll do another one of these. There's no maybe about it. I will do another one because this is what life is. And this is why I talk about this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because it's what I do all day long, every day. And I'm passionate about it because I didn't expect it to be like this. So, all right. Well, I thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, so it is, stop squeaking. I've had enough already. Wow, looking real good, dude. Just, I need to stop picking at myself, but I'm not going to do that. We're just gonna go. Oh, that made it worse. Didn't know that was possible. My God in heaven, hallowed be thy name.